Welcome back to my adventures in Metroid Zero Mission. And that was very interesting. We actually had a cutscene. Not typical of the old Metroid game, but pretty awesome nonetheless. Also, we get to be introduced to more new rocks. These little gravelly rocks that just break if you stand on them, and these weird screw-like rocks that we just have no way of breaking yet. What else is new, right? Well, let's at least save now that we've entered a new area. And that's where we need to go. But can we get there? Well, no. Not even close. We're stuck once again. So just like in Brinstar, once you get stuck going right, you gotta go left. And deal with annoying enemies. No, they're not really annoying. They just get in the way sometimes. It's more annoying once you deal with the harder variants, because that is something that the Metroid games do a lot, is they will deal with harder variant enemies. And it just makes it a challenge, because they can do more damage, but usually by that point you'll have more energy tanks, unless you are of the type to be doing more of a challenging run. Another place we can't go to. Oh, I guess we'll just keep going up. And here's an elevator. And typically that means you're leaving an area, so yes, we're leaving Norfair. Into Criteria. Which, as far as I know, is not in the original Metroid game. So this is an entirely new area for this remake. It's pretty interesting. They decided to introduce a new area idea and more rocks we can't break. Well, interesting. We're kind of stuck on that. I'm trying to figure out which area I'm supposed to go to next, because one's going to be more of a dead end than the other. So I guess I went this way. And we're dealing with more of a docks-like area. Once again, though, we're stuck and we can't go anywhere. Just fighting these weirdo fish. Well, they're not called fish, but regardless. They still get in the way. Yeah, one of the problems with dealing with water is that Samus's suit is not designed for it. It's airtight, so you don't have to worry about running out of air, but just like water, it restricts your movement, can't really jump in it. The only reason Samus can probably even walk in it is because she's so heavy. But, yeah, I'm trying to bomb the ground to see if there's any secrets or anything like that, because at this point I don't know the area fully well enough, so I can't really take any opportunities to explore without the map, but I don't get the map here. At least not for the time being. So, for the time being, we'll just have to see if we can explore, and the answer is we can't. Yeah, but yeah, you see how bad the jump is? You can't even make this jump easily without waiting for the block to reform. So you have to wait for the block to reform, and then you can do it, because it's just a pain to jump in the water. But that's my own fault for trying to explore. Because I thought for sure that you were supposed to go that way. So, we're gonna go this way. Because, like last time, we got the morph bomb, so we can actually explore a bit and get into another new area, Chozo Ruins, an entirely new area, not in the original game at all, or in any other Metroid game. And we have some new things we gotta see. Some weirdo blocks that we can't break, and that familiar theme of a Chozo statue, a very different looking Chozo statue. What could it be? Okay. Analysis inconclusive. Item incompatible with current suit. So that's really interesting. Thank you. For some reason, we've run into a completely new item that we can't even use, but it does allow us to break these weirdo blocks. It says the item is incompatible with the current suit, which, for me, I think would imply that the current suit would mean that there are multiple variations of the Chozo suit, the power suit, and Samus just happens to have a less advanced version. Because while it's never been said, unfortunately, there's just not a lot of lore that's given out for the Metroid series. I think the implication is that Samus can't, what's the word I'm looking for? That Samus left the Chozo a while ago. That she had left to join the Galactic Federation, and that she had essentially, after leaving the Galactic Federation because she was frustrated with them, is that what I said? She left the Chozo to join the Galactic Federation. She got frustrated with the Galactic Federation, so she left them to become her own private bounty hunter. It's not implied how long it would take, but considering that she would be with the Galactic Federation long enough to be frustrated with it, then it had to at least been some time. Although, I don't even think it's confirmed she's frustrated with them, she just wants to work on her own. I don't know if it's in the manual, but I will bring that up at some point, because the manual has a bit of story in it as well that's worth reading. Interesting statue. Interesting area overall, and this is me just trying to remember because there's obviously a way to get out. But it's not there. That's the way out of the way in to where we're going. But let's see where we're going. We're going for a new power-up. Yes, a new power-up already. And one of the best ones as far as I'm concerned. The Power Grip. Grab and hang from ledges and corners. Thank you. You unfortunately can't hold Samus, which is a little bit of a shame. That would have been a great opportunity. I don't know why they didn't give that opportunity, but oh well. That's okay, because now Samus can actually hold on and move around and aim in all sorts of different directions, and it's great. And we even have a bit of a tutorial sequence, I guess you could call it, to help us learn how to do this. So I'm going to be showing here how to do it. It's kind of interesting that these claws now hold the blocks when they didn't before. I mean, it's like, it's not necessary for them to hold it. But there you go. But yeah, essentially Power Grip is also a new item for Metroid. It wasn't in Metroid 1. It wasn't even in... It was only introduced with Metroid Fusion, aka Metroid 4. So, it's a pretty new item, and it's a very useful item. I'm very glad that they brought it in. I don't think I would enjoy the game as much if I didn't have the Power Grip to depend on. But, it's not super important. Like, I believe it is required to 100% the game. Yeah, it has to be required to 100% the game. But it's not required in most situations. So that's kind of interesting. But it helps a lot. And also, we just found Samus' ship. Right where we parked it. Samus' ship doesn't have a name. Well, at least this one doesn't have a name. So I like to call it the Hunter Wing because I think one of her ships is called the Hunter. So I like to call it the Hunter Wing because it has wings. And they typically don't for some reason. Well, either way. It's a cool ship design. I'd love to see it used more often. But we just don't get that many Metroid games for that to be an opportunity, I guess. But enough of this area. Let's go back to Norfair. And now we can actually continue. So, now, we're gonna go this way. We could go the other way, but we're gonna go this way first, because there's things we can get this way. Things that will help us on our journey a bit. Just watch out for these mellas. They're actually not so bad here, I guess, because usually they'll chase Samus around like crazy, but... like the mellows, but they're on fire! And again, I'm trying to be nice. I'm not trying to kill these enemies if I can help it. But yeah, with the power grip, it makes it a little bit easier to grab these missile upgrades now, because they may be hanging up on this stuff, but you can do that, and you can catch yourself and keep getting smacked by mellas if you want. Ooh, look at that. Even our foot is in the acid. It's okay. Ooh. Yeah, this is just one of those areas where it's like, you really sure you want to try and protect the animals? They don't care about you. They hurt you for some reason. Which is weird. I never understood that in video games, why you take touch damage and, like, I guess it's just to make the game harder, but it's not necessary. I mean, it's not like Freedom Planet does it. Yeah. But yeah, the one thing I is a little bit weird is that the power grip does have a weird way of getting up, and I always struggle with it. Like, I don't know, it's just not instinctive to me for some reason. Which is weird, because this is like the only Metroid game I've played in full other than Tails Adventures, I think. Which maybe that's why, because the Tails Adventures also does have like a platform gripping mechanic, and I'm used to that. But yeah, now that we got power grip, we can actually continue onward and where we're trying to go, which is trying to see what the Chozo statue wanted from us. Nope. Can't go there. I don't know why I thought I could. I guess I'm just trying to because I don't want to miss any missiles. It's very easy to. And I really don't want to get hit by this Polyup. It's a really weird name. Polyup. I looked it up for a reason, so I know that one specifically quite well. But we'll get to that eventually. Okay. Ow. Like, I don't know what this area is for. I forget if it actually had a purpose, but I feel like it didn't. Yeah. Obviously, we can't get up there because we have no way of jumping high. And who knows if Samus will ever get a high jump. And more blocks. More unbreakable blocks. It's kind of interesting. The game is constantly teasing you with like, oh, you can't go here yet. You can't break this yet. You can't do this yet. It's kind of weird. I don't know if there are a lot of video games that really do stuff like that. Don't go in here because it will burn you alive, you know. It's super duper hot. It's interesting to think about how they design these sorts of games. But Metroidvanias are interesting in that regard because they will typically say, oh, here's a path you could go on, but you don't have the right equipment yet. Go look for it. But I think what makes Metroid usually good is that you can find ways to sequence break and get around it. And not always, but it's helpful if you can. Just be careful not to die. Like that. Okay. Well, that was wonderful. Sorry, that was a bit of a pain. But we're back, and I'm doing this smarter way this time. You're taking the power grip to your advantage, and just making the right kind of jumps so that you don't hurt yourself. I always like doing that, messing with that little... we'll figure out what that's called later. So anyway, green door. Can't break that. I guess this weapon must give us the green door thing, right? Right. Ice beam. Ice for green? This beam can freeze enemies in place. You can safely stand on frozen enemies. That didn't mention anything about green doors. Or green hatches. Thank you. Oh, nope. You can't do it. That's right. In a weird move, they just like, no, we're not gonna give you the right weapon yet. Just keep going. Okay. Instead, they want you to play with your ice beam and freeze this Ripper and move onward. And, well, now we get to make Ripper ice stairs. And I don't know why I didn't go in that other room. I guess I was afraid I was going to be going the wrong way. So I skipped out on that room, and I'm going to come back to it later. Because unfortunately I do get lost in this area sometimes. But at least freezing is fun now, so now we get to freeze these squeeps. I think I'm saying it right? Squeeped? I don't know exactly. But they're fun to freeze and not even use as platforms when you're supposed to. Oh. Oh. Whoops. Sorry. I don't know what happened there, but I remember doing that for some reason by accident. Thank you. And, yay, we get to have squeeped ice stairs. If it ever throws itself up. Jerk. But yeah, now we're being told to go all the way after Kraid, one of the main space pirate leaders. So, I'll get into the manual eventually, but the space pirates are a weird sort of alien life forms that all just band together to just cause general pirate shenanigans throughout the galaxy, I guess. And the Galactic Federation is trying to stop them, but they're not really sure how to handle them yet. And, well, they're led by a bunch of different random aliens. And one of those leaders is Kraid. And unfortunately, Kraid is not seen very often, but he's very interesting. We'll get more into him once we see him, but he is probably one of my favorite of the space pirate leaders. And as you can imagine, he's going to be a boss that we're going to be dealing with. And apparently very soon, according to these Chozo statues, they want us to go there now. You can tell that his boss fight is going to be a big, interesting one, because he's got this big room, and it's like, oh, what is he going to do? Is he going to jump around the arena? Is he going to just take his claw and just, like, smack the arena and spin in circles? No. That would only happen in a fighting game. Yeah, and at this point, I should finally bring this up. So on the map, you see that white circle there in the top right corner. It's flashing. Now it's a white dot. That shows that there was a missile tank there, and not anymore. Although it doesn't have to necessarily be a missile tank. It can be any sort of random item. And I screwed up and I fell through the gravel blocks. There's technically a secret area that I should have gone in, and I didn't. But using that secret area, you can really sequence break and fight the bosses out of order. And it's intentional. There's a lot of intentional sequence breaks here. I don't actually know how many are not intentional sequence breaks. It's kind of interesting to think about. And we can't break that door again, so we're going in a loop now. But that's okay. I'm mostly just here to check on that room that I missed on, heal up a bit, say thank you, and go on my way.